My beloved child, do not ignore this moment. Heaven has paused your steps, because something hidden has been moving against you, and the Spirit needed you to stop right here. Though the shadows tried to move quietly, heaven did not. A shift has taken place behind your back, something whispered, something agreed upon, something meant to interfere with what God already carved for you. And Archangel Michael says, a secret bargain was spoken over their future. If they turn away now, they will never know what was meant to be stolen. But listen, God is not silent tonight. His fire is stirred, His justice awakened, because this is not just another message. This is about blood, this is about legacy, this is about someone tied to your own life in a way that shakes your spirit when you read these words. Heaven is not revealing this to frighten you, but to equip you. Your arrival here was not chance. The moment your eyes touched this message, the angels leaned in, knowing you had finally reached the truth meant only for you. Michael is not soft today, his voice is sharp, bright, and urgent. He commands, stay, listen, do not step away. Your destiny depends on this. And the trembling you feel, that rising heat in your chest, that sudden heaviness in the air, that is not fear. That is recognition. Your spirit has sensed something forming behind the veil, something disguised, something concealed, something that would unravel if you closed this now. Beloved, the truth is this: conversations have been happening in places where your name should have been honored. But instead it was tossed aside, a quiet council formed, words exchanged, lines drawn. And though they thought darkness hid them, heaven saw everything. There has been a spiritual transaction attempting to redirect what was meant for you, and someone close, someone tied to your lineage was pulled into it. Not with malice, not with cruelty, but with confusion, pressure, or subtle influence. God is not speaking to punish, but to rescue. His anger is not destructive, it is protective. His voice rises because your future is sacred, and he refuses to let it be compromised by the schemes of those who play with what they don't understand. Michael stands over you now, sword drawn, pointing toward the very thing they tried to bury, the very plot they hoped would remain unspoken. You have been restless, troubled, suspicious without proof. That was heaven signaling you, every closed door, every mysterious delay, every moment you felt pushed aside. These were ripples from the unseen. But now heaven says, enough. God declares, what is yours cannot be stolen, what I sealed cannot be rewritten by human hands. Good, you're still here. And that means heaven can reveal what was once hidden. This moment is not for the casual reader. This is a message wrapped in assignment and urgency. Divine rescue arrives only when the chosen one refuses to turn away. You stayed, you listened, now the veil begins to thin. Michael says, hear this with clarity. A shadow-laced agreement was made, thinking darkness would keep it invisible. But the moment heaven breathed on it, every hidden word became exposed. Do you feel that ache in your chest? That's not panic, it's your soul recognizing the trail of betrayal that's been lingering beneath the surface. You were not imagining the cold glances, the odd silence, the convenient forgetting. These were early threads of a larger plan, an attempt to divert something that had your name written in divine ink. But heaven does not lose track of its own scrolls. Beloved, breathe deep now, because what you hear next must be held with both truth and compassion. Someone close to you, someone connected to your lineage, was touched by influence they didn't understand. They agreed to something, believing it was harmless, small, or necessary. They were nudged, convinced, or misled. They were not acting out of hatred, but out of confusion and fear. God sees the wound, not just the mistake. And He says, I will correct this without breaking what can be restored. Heaven prefers redemption over destruction, restoration over accusation, wisdom over chaos. Pause, do not act in anger. Not yet, first receive the light. Heaven always reveals truth before it gives instruction. Michael says, let the light expose the shadow, then move. And the signs will begin to surface, a misplaced paper returned at the right moment, a message revealed in perfect timing, a name repeated in unexpected places. These are heaven's breadcrumbs guiding you to clarity. God's anger burns, not to punish, but to protect destiny. A child's future is involved, a line of blessing is at stake. And heaven refuses to let human decisions cut what God threaded together. Do you feel that warmth rising in your chest? That is heaven's furnace burning away deception. When truth confronts hidden agendas, the dark trembles. This message is not a warning meant to frighten you, it's a declaration that heaven is undoing what was done in shadow. A moment of revelation is coming, someone will speak what was meant to remain silent. And when that word reaches you, everything will click, the patterns, the delays, the uneasy signs you carried without understanding. But hear this, beloved, how you respond will determine the healing that follows. Heaven is preparing not only to reveal truth, but to empower you to walk through it with dignity, authority, and spiritual clarity. God is not asking for rage, He is asking for readiness. Because restoration is coming, correction is coming. And the plot that rose against you is already collapsing under heaven's weight. Heaven does not simply give back, heaven returns what was stolen in a way that restores honor, dignity, and generational blessing. And beloved, that is exactly what is beginning now. The unraveling has already started, the knots tied in secret are coming loose, the whispers spoken behind your back are being dragged into the light, one by one. But hear this, when the evidence rises, when the confession breaks through trembling lips. Your first instinct must not be rage. Your first instinct must be restoration. Archangel Michael says, reclaim gently, but reclaim boldly. What is coming to you is not revenge, it is recovery. Heaven is undoing what people twisted, not so you can punish them, but so you can free what was bound. There will come a moment, when a paper resurfaces, or a forgotten message appears at the perfect hour. That is not coincidence, that is divine timing. You will be handed proof, not to harm, but to deliver. Because the steps that follow will bring back what was taken from your daughter, and what belongs to your inheritance. Beloved, listen to this next instruction carefully, it is essential. Protect her in prayer, but also protect her with wisdom. Speak softly, not sharply. Ask questions that open the truth, not close it. Children do not confess under pressure, they confess when they feel safe. Secrets grow in fear, truth rises in safety. If your chest feels softer as you read, that is grace entering the wound. Heaven is preparing your heart for the conversation ahead. You will need courage and mercy at the same time, you will need discernment and tenderness in the same breath. This moment will require a heart strong enough to confront, and gentle enough to restore. Do not be shocked if someone close reacts defensively. Guilt wears the mask of anger. People who fear their part may try to redirect blame, change the subject, or soften the truth. Do not be swayed, do not be manipulated, Michael warns, do not be soothed by theatrics. Hold to the core, your daughter's future is not negotiable. How you walk through this moment will set a spiritual pattern in your family line. If you walk in truth and mercy, blessing strengthens. If you walk in bitterness, the wound spreads to those who come after you. Choose restoration, choose the path that builds rather than the path that destroys. The enemy wanted to silence you, to convince you that you had no right to question, no authority to challenge. But heaven rejects that lie. You were not born to be silent, you were born to reclaim. Michael says you are the voice heaven chose. When you speak truth at the right hour, darkness will fall. Good, you're still here. Heaven delights when a parent stays steady. The angels mark your endurance as faith. Your patience becomes a lever that opens what was closed. You may begin noticing a name repeating, a place resurfacing, a phrase echoing. These are signs. Heaven speaks in patterns. Your role is to notice, pray, and wait for the confirmation that aligns with peace. This is a season of exposure, not to shame but to heal. God never reveals to embarrass, He reveals to free. What was stolen will return, refined, restored, and protected. Heaven does not recycle broken pieces, heaven reforges them into something unshakable. Michael's voice shifts into steady authority. Let no one manipulate the heart of a child, let no voice barter a destiny. Stand firm and heaven will stand with you, you are not battling alone. The armies of heaven align with every parent who defends their child's future. The strength rising in you is not anger, it is divine backing. Pause for a moment and breathe. You will need words that carry both firmness and softness. You will need to protect truth while offering a safe path for confession. Your tools will be forgiveness and clarity. When used together, they dismantle any hidden scheme. Do not expect everything to unfold overnight, expect divine timing. Heaven reveals in rhythms, not in rushes. The unraveling of this secret agreement may take days, weeks, or even a season. But every step will bring clarity that cannot be denied. Say this quietly in your heart, Lord, uncover what was hidden, restore what was taken, protect my child's path. Pray it until your spirit steadies. Prayer is the unseen motion that summons heaven's intervention. Unexpected allies will appear, people you didn't think would help. A neighbor with a clue, a relative with knowledge, a stranger with courage. Do not dismiss unusual kindness. These hands are part of heaven's strategy to untie the knot. Do not be alarmed when confusion rises for a moment. Darkness gaslights before it falls. They may claim you misunderstood, overreacted, imagined things. Do not retreat, keep records, keep peace. Clarity will arrive like thunder, undeniable, unshakable, unmistakable. Beloved, your daughter's future is not a casualty of this moment, it is a treasure heaven is fiercely protecting. God's anger is not against her, it is against the plot designed to damage her destiny. And his anger has now become action. He will use your courage, your steadiness, your wisdom, to restore what was nearly broken. What comes next will not simply return what was lost, it will improve it. Heaven never gives back the same version, heaven returns what is purified, strengthened, and wrapped in protection. Because restoration from God is not replacement, it is elevation. And beloved, elevation is already beginning. It upgrades, heaven never restores something the same way. It returns it purified, multiplied, and reinforced against future harm. What nearly slipped from your hands, will come back guarded by divine protection. This is part of God's merciful design, restoration wrapped in wisdom, multiplied through grace, and secured through truth. And now Michael speaks with clarity. Do not bow to fear, fear blinds, fear weakens, fear steals strength before the battle begins. Archangel Michael says stand in truth, speak with love, move in faith. And watch as heaven rewrites the outcome right in front of you. You are not reading theory, you're holding a heavenly blueprint. Stay close, beloved, because the next part is not revelation, it's instruction. This is the guide that shows you how to confront what was formed in secret, protect your child with dignity, and rise into the restoration heaven already prepared. You were brought here to receive it. First, prepare your heart. Before any action, anchor yourself in peace. Michael says do not go in hot, go in holy. Anger without wisdom harms the very heart you want to protect, so breathe deeply, quiet your spirit, and ask God for words that both heal and illuminate. Second, collect evidence quietly and calmly. Heaven does not need spectacle, heaven needs truth. Look for strange patterns, missing messages, unusual conversations, repeated names, unexplained agreements, or signatures that don't match. Take notes, keep records. When revelation arrives, it must meet a prepared heart and a prepared file. Third, speak to your daughter gently, with safety in your voice. Children open up where they feel protected, not pressured. Ask open questions: who spoke to you? What did they say? Did anyone make you uncomfortable? A calm approach reveals truth, fear hides it. Fourth, never accuse publicly. Michael warns, expose the plot with clarity, not chaos. A quiet conversation with the right people, a respected elder, a guardian, a wise counselor, will unravel a scheme faster than outrage in the open. Truth spoken with precision is more powerful than truth shouted in anger. Fifth, pray deliberately. Say aloud, Lord, reveal the hidden, bring every shadow into your light, restore what was meant for us, and guide my child's way. Prayer aligns the forces of heaven with your steps, and unlocks doors human effort could never open. Sixth, watch for confirmations. Heaven will never leave you guessing. You may see repeated numbers, hear a phrase that catches your spirit, or receive a message that suddenly explains everything. These are gentle nudges from above. Seventh, build a small circle of trustworthy allies. Not everyone needs to know, choose those who carry integrity, courage, and silence. People who can support you without fueling gossip. These allies become the steady hands, while heaven moves the unseen pieces. 8. Protect your daughter's heart. She may feel guilt or confusion long before she feels relief. Tell her you are not alone, we will fix this together, you are safe with me. Michael says children heal best when their protectors demonstrate steady faith. 9th, expect resistance, not because truth is weak, but because truth has weight. Those who benefited from confusion may try manipulation, charm, or gaslighting. Stand firm, hold your peace, keep your evidence. Heaven's clarity will rise above their noise. 10th, speak blessings over her future. Say, you will not lose your portion, heaven guards your steps, what was against you is undone. Words spoken in faith reshape atmosphere. Michael breathes divine strength into such declarations. 11th, be ready to forgive, but never at the expense of truth. Forgiveness restores, but boundaries protect. If there is repentance, receive it. But do not confuse mercy with blind trust, restoration requires wisdom. 12th, expect visible restoration. Heaven doesn't deal only in symbolism, real things will return. Misplaced resources will reroute, confusing paperwork will correct, delayed opportunities will reappear, stronger and more aligned. 13th, set a spiritual watch over your home. A nightly prayer, a spoken blessing at meals, a verse repeated softly before sleep. These small acts build a shield around your house. Teach your daughter rituals of peace and grounding. These simple routines create a barrier no confusion can cross. 14th, stay aware of heavenly timing. Secrets unravel not in chaos, but in perfect rhythm. What was hidden will rise at the very moment your heart is ready to receive it. You will not miss your moment, heaven is too precise for that. And 15th, remember that you are not fighting this alone. Heaven has assigned warriors to your steps, helpers will appear, often in unexpected forms. The right person, the right conversation, the right gesture will manifest when you need it. Beloved, what was meant to harm you is already being reshaped into a testimony of restoration. Heaven is not simply returning what was touched, it is elevating it. What comes next is stronger, safer, and more blessed than before. Quiet practices that steady the heart are not superstition, they're anchors for the soul. In moments when the ground beneath you feels unsteady, teach her small breaths of calm, simple phrases of truth she can whisper when her spirit feels tight. These little tools will strengthen her where fear once lived. Heaven now gives a crucial instruction: record the timeline. Write down the strange calls, the uncomfortable pauses, the moments you felt pushed or confused. When truth rises, this timeline will connect the dots your eyes couldn't see before. Order in your notes invites order in your spirit. Heaven moves with clarity where you create structure. Michael continues with a warning wrapped in wisdom: patience is your ally. Unraveling a secret agreement is like pulling a thread from a large tapestry, the pattern emerges slowly, piece by piece. If you rush, you risk tearing what should be revealed gently. Michael says, haste invites error, patience secures victory. And beloved, mercy must remain in your pocket, even when disappointment stings. Mercy is the currency of restoration. When paired with justice, mercy transforms wounds into sources of strength instead of bitter scars. How you extend mercy now determines how deeply this season heals. Watch for heaven's small nods of favor, doors opening quietly, helpful voices appearing, resources showing up at the exact moment you need them. These aren't random, these are indicators that the spiritual correction is reaching the natural world. Celebrate them softly, gratitude accelerates blessing. Teach your daughter how to guard her name. This season can refine her understanding of trust, signatures, influence, and wisdom. What she learns now becomes armor that will protect her future, and even the futures of those who will come after her. Michael says, "The armor you craft now will defend generations." And in all of this, do not forget who you are in God. You are not defined by betrayal, confusion, or uncertainty. You are defined by heaven's decree over your life, beloved, chosen, protected. Speak these truths over yourself until fear dissolves into faith. Prepare a declaration of restoration, and let your household speak it together. Say, "We reclaim what was meant for us, we seal our name in the promise of heaven, we step into restoration today." Spoken unity invites supernatural alignment. These steps, my child, are the map. But the map is not the walk, your obedience is what transforms instructions into outcomes. Michael says, "Walk with courage, walk with tenderness, walk with prayer." These are the steps that pull heaven's rescue into your daily reality. Now listen, this is not a subscription plea, it is covenant language. When you commit to following through, you commit to letting heaven finish what heaven started. Say in your heart, "I will stay, I will fight for my home, I will not allow darkness to define my family." This vow strengthens the heavenly intervention already in motion. You may ask, "When will I see results?" Michael answers, "Signs within days, confirmations within weeks." Heaven does not drag its feet, but it also does not rush truth. Move only when the evidence stands firm, heaven's pace is steady, then suddenly. Be prepared for both. Expect helpers in surprising places, a worker who discovers a misplaced document, a neighbor who recalls a key detail, a stranger who speaks the exact phrase needed to unlock truth. These quiet interventions are heaven's fingerprints, watch for them carefully. When truth finally comes to the surface, face it with dignity. Present your timeline, speak your points calmly, ask for correction. Then let restoration follow. Dignity draws respect, and prevents retaliation. Strength with softness is heaven's preferred posture. And beloved, never let shame silence you. Shame thrives where secrets hide, truth destroys shame's kingdom. Speak truth confidently, as truth rises, shame withers. Return often to this simple prayer, "Lord, step in now, restore, protect, reveal what must be revealed." Pray until your heart steadies, and courage fills your chest. Prayer is not passive, it is strategy in motion. Prepare for renewal once the storm settles. Mark a day of new beginning, light a candle, speak a blessing, create a symbolic act of reclaiming. These quiet rituals anchor heaven's change into earthly memory. Michael says, symbolic action seals spiritual victory. Understand this clearly, you are not entering chaos. You are entering holy correction. Heaven has already positioned itself around you, Michael fights on your behalf. God is shifting the path to protect what belongs to your line. Hold steady, speak gently, stand firm, protect with love. Restoration is not distant, it is already unfolding. And there is still more heaven intends to reveal, practical guidance, prophetic clarity, and prayers for the nights when your heart trembles. Stay here, we will walk through every detail, until your daughter's path shines clear, and her future stands anchored in light. What was targeted will return amplified. Not simply restored, but upgraded with a strength the enemy never expected. Heaven does not give back in the same condition, it returns the blessing fortified, elevated, and sealed so tightly that no future plot can touch it. Michael stands near, his presence steady, and says, hold on to this truth. What was threatened will become the very thing God uses to elevate your house. Lean closer now, child, heaven is not done speaking. There are prayers, declarations, and nightly rituals meant to carry you through this season with precision. These instructions are not poetic, they are strategic. They shape the spiritual atmosphere around your home. When prayed faithfully, these words open doors in places your hands cannot reach. Begin with the midnight prayer, for midnight is thin ground, where heaven bends low and listens deeply. Speak it slowly, Lord, uncover the hidden, bring every secret into your blazing light, restore what was taken from my child, break every chain set against our name. Say it 3 nights in a row, let your breath steady, let your spirit settle. Midnight prayers open cracks in the unseen. At dawn, face the east, and declare alignment. Morning light is heaven's favorite time for movement in the natural realm. Speak, heaven align our morning, let this day bring evidence, let favor rise, let helpers appear. Say it aloud so your home hears the sound of faith shaping the day before it begins. Teach your daughter her protective phrase, simple, short, powerful. When I am afraid, God is my voice. She doesn't need sermons, she needs anchors. A single strong phrase will protect her inner world more than 1,000 warnings. Now hear this prophetic instruction, watch for repeating signs within 24 to 72 hours. A name, a number, a place, something will echo itself. When you see it, pause and pray immediately. This is my sign, confirm it, Lord. Heaven rarely reveals in one stroke, patterns strengthen clarity. Each night, seal your home with a declaration of covering. Speak, by heaven's power, every secret door against us is closed, no hidden contract stands, our name is sealed in light. Lift your hands toward the ceiling, or rest them over family photos. Physical actions imprint spiritual truth. Record everything, every odd text, unexpected knock, unusual conversation, write it all in one notebook labeled Heaven's Timeline. Heaven honors organization, patterns hide inside details, and your timeline will expose what confusion tried to blur. If a paper surfaces, treat it with calm authority. Don't destroy it, don't panic, don't sign anything. Take it to a wise elder or legal voice who carries integrity. Heaven uses earthly authority to reinforce spiritual justice. Michael says, use law when needed, use prayer always. When confronting an adult involved, begin with only 3 sentences. I want truth, I want correction, I want restoration. Firm, neutral, steady. These words expose guilt or draw out honesty. Anger confuses the moment, clarity exposes it. Give your daughter her morning identity prayer, 1 sentence to armor her spirit. I am loved, I am protected, I will not carry what is not mine. Repeat it with her until it becomes her inner shield. Expect misdirection within the first week. A shaming comment, a guilt-laden message, a confusing attempt to silence you. Do not absorb it, simply reply, we will follow truth not shame. Then return to your timeline, and your prayers. Heaven unmasks slowly, but precisely. Declare this prophetic banner over your door, to shift the atmosphere of your home. By heaven's decree, every plot against our blessing dissolves now. What was hidden will be revealed, restoration will move with speed. Speak it boldly, words carry spiritual weight. Teach your daughter the boundary that stops manipulation instantly. I will not sign until my parent reads this. This single rule protects her destiny. Any hidden plan collapses when pressured signatures are removed from the equation. Duplicate every important document in your household, store scanned copies with someone trustworthy, or in a secure cloud. Heaven frequently works through simple human wisdom. Michael nods at preparation, guard what is yours. Create a nightly ritual of protection, light a small flame, say a prayer, then blow it out gently with the words. Light came, darkness goes, we walk in truth. Rituals anchor restoration into memory, and signal heaven that your home is embracing new ground. Never confront a conspirator alone. Bring witnesses. Witnesses protect truth, and disarm manipulation. Michael says, truth invites witnesses, lies hide in shadows. If guilt is admitted, create a path of restoration. Request written acknowledgement, a plan to correct what was broken, and a timeline for restitution. Forgiveness restores, repair protects. Hold on to this prophetic promise, what was targeted will return amplified. Heaven never returns a blessing quietly, it comes back stronger, wrapped in protection, multiplied in purpose. Now brace your heart, heaven has more steps. After the restoration begins, there will be markers, symbols, and confirming whispers to guide you forward. You will notice them as moments that feel heavier than coincidence. One sign will be sudden clarity in conversations that once felt confusing. Another will be unexpected peace settling over your daughter at a moment you least expect. And another will be a phrase repeated to you from 2 different mouths, in 2 different places. This is heaven echoing truth through fractured spaces. Michael stands near with fierce gentleness, his wings spread like a shield around your home. He says, you are not walking toward disaster, you are walking toward divine correction. Heaven fights for the innocent, heaven restores what was touched, heaven protects those who stand in truth. Do not let fear shape your next steps, let strategy shape them. Let wisdom anchor them, let prayer fuel them. My beloved, this journey is not ending, this journey is shifting. What comes next will bring healing, clarity, justice, and renewal. Heaven is not finished speaking, stay close, stay steady. There is more to reveal, and heaven intends to walk with you until your child's future shines fully in the light. Do not be surprised when unexpected blessings begin to appear. These are heaven's compensations. Signs that the tide is turning in your favor. A small financial breakthrough, a sudden opportunity, a person offering help without being asked. Each one is evidence that restoration has already started to move in your direction. Michael says, heaven always returns more than what was touched. Lean in, beloved, because the next steps are not random instructions. They are spiritual architecture, designed to rebuild what was weakened. As your daughter learns discernment, prayer, and boundaries, her spirit becomes anchored. What once made her vulnerable, will now become the very place where wisdom grows. This season is forming a guardian inside her, shaping her into someone who cannot be misled again. And now, teach her this family vow, simple, strong, unforgettable. By heaven's hand, our name is sealed, what was stolen is restored, our future is guarded and multiplied. Speak it nightly, hand in hand. Words spoken in unity shape the entire atmosphere of a home. This is not performance, this is alignment with heaven's decree. Understand this deeply, this is not just a plan. This is a restoration strategy handwritten in the heavens. It carries precision, timing, and mercy. It protects innocence, exposes deception, and returns dignity. Michael says, follow the steps, trust the signs, guard the timeline, protect the child. Truth paired with mercy becomes unstoppable. When the confession finally comes, and it will, meet it with steady strength, not weakness, not panic, not emotional collapse. Meet it with structure, meetings, written commitments, restitution plans. Healing requires boundaries, and boundaries create safety after exposure. Without structure, the wound risks reopening. And when blessings arrive, do not dismiss them. Receive them with wisdom. Unexpected help is not charity, it is heavenly compensation. Use it to stabilize your home, strengthen your plans, and rebuild in ways that honor the future. Michael says, blessings that are respected multiply. Protect your daughter's digital world, with the same care you protect her emotional world. Change passwords, limit contact permissions, check her conversations, and place a trusted adult as a buffer. The modern battlefield is often unseen, and digital safety is spiritual safety in disguise. When the first reversal sign appears, a sudden discovery, a revealing conversation, a misfiled paper found. Gather your trusted inner circle. Pray together, agreement magnifies authority. When voices unite, heaven accelerates. Michael's angels move swiftly, where faith stands in community. Teach your daughter the simplest defense line ever spoken. I will not agree, I will speak to my parent. This single sentence stops manipulations before they root themselves. Pressure loses power when a child knows she is not alone. Do not underestimate the enemy's last attempt to cloud your vision. Confusion may swirl, old fears may whisper, people involved may try to charm, distract, or shame. But hold the line. The truth always rises, because heaven refuses to let deception write the story. When the dust settles, create a moment, no matter how small. That marks the new chapter. Light a candle, plant a seed, write a letter of release, or anoint a doorway. These symbolic acts are not superstition, they are markers of divine turning points. They transform memory from pain to power. Do not carry bitterness into the new season. Bitterness corrodes destiny far more than betrayal ever could. When anger rises, speak aloud. I refuse to carry this as my identity. This keeps your heart light enough for heaven to lift. If financial harm was involved, request an audit. Calm, professional, and thorough. Do not fear clarity. Heaven sides with justice, especially when protecting the vulnerable. What is yours will not remain hidden when truth is invited. Expect the next 40 days to reveal open doors. Expect the next 70 days to shift patterns. Expect the next year to rewrite the family line entirely. These numbers are not rigid clocks, they are spiritual rhythms that signal movement. Heaven's timing repairs what human timing damages. When presenting your evidence, do it with calm precision. Lay out the timeline, the documents, the testimony. Ask for correction, not chaos. Ask for restoration, not revenge. Heaven prefers slow correction to unstable justice. Truth does not need yelling, it needs structure. Let your daughter witness strength without cruelty. Clarity without rage. This will teach her how to handle betrayal, conflict, and correction for the rest of her life. Her future self will draw strength from your present courage. And now hear this final declaration, that heaven places in your hands. Your family will not end in brokenness. What was meant to scatter you, will become the reason you rise. What was used against you, will be repurposed for your victory. Michael stands guard over your threshold and says, the line will flourish, the name will stand, the child will heal, the future will multiply. Beloved, hold steady. The story is shifting in your favor. Every prayer you've spoken, every line you've written, every boundary you've held, has summoned heaven's intervention. You are not walking through destruction, you are walking through divine reordering. Stay close now. There is more heaven wants to reveal, more signs, more strategy, and more strength for the days ahead. Your daughter's path is being cleared, and your household is being sealed in light. Lean closer, beloved. Heaven is not done shaping the victory that belongs to your family. What looks like small provision now, money, job, help, a supportive neighbor, is actually the opening wave of compensation heaven prepared long before the plot formed. Michael says, blessings handled with wisdom create harvests. Steward them well, and watch increase follow increase. And as life begins to steady again, do not rush past the lessons this season taught your daughter. Keep guiding her in discernment, prayer, and boundaries. This isn't just recovery, it's formation. Heaven is shaping her into someone who can guard her own destiny, with clarity and courage. Now join hands as a family, and declare your identity with conviction. By heaven's hand, our name is sealed. What was stolen is restored. Our future is guarded and multiplied. We walk in peace. Speak it slowly, speak it boldly. This declaration anchors your home in truth, and seals heaven's movement into your story. Because, child, this is not simply a plan. It is a divine strategy crafted with precision. Angels have recorded every step, every tear, every prayer. The throne has approved your restoration. And now heaven is coordinating the path forward. Follow the instructions, trust the patterns, protect the child, hold mercy and truth in the same hand. And hear this. There is more unfolding behind the veil. Heaven is preparing specific prayers for moments when you must face family systems, legal papers, and conversations that carry weight. There are prophetic phrases meant to break confusion, and signs designed to tell you when to act immediately, and when to wait patiently. So stay right here. Do not step away from this guidance. Keep reading, keep praying, keep your heart soft, and your spirit listening. Heaven is not finished with your family's story. The next chapter is restoration in motion, and you are stepping into the brightest part of the journey.